This really is the first Sikh community in the Boston area. The people who founded this community began in 1968 as the New England Sikh Study Circle. Sarbpreet, how wonderful to see you again.
Very nice to see you again.
Thank you so very much. What a great day, and we're happy to be here.
Welcome, welcome.
I want to ask, before we go into the Gurdwara, why is it that Sikhs cover their heads in the Gurdwara, both women and men?
Certainly. So covering your head in the presence of somebody that you respect is very much Indian tradition. So in one sense, it comes from Indian culture. Now in the Gurdwara, all Sikhs are very cognizant of the presence of the Guru, the scripture that we consider our living Guru. So covering your head in the presence of the Guru is really a mark of respect. Now that said, since all practicing Sikhs acknowledge the presence of God everywhere, a lot of Sikhs will keep their head covered always, not just in the Gurdwara.
Sarbpreet, let me ask you about the importance of the book, which is so clear in the Gurdwara. What is the book and why it's so important?
History has it that when it was time for a 10th Guru to leave the world, he decreed that there would be no living Gurus after him, and he decreed that the place of the living Guru would be taken essentially by the scripture. Everything in the life of a Sikh revolves around the scripture.
One of the things that is really impressive here, of course, to any visitor is the dominance of singing in what we would call the worship service. I mean, there is prayer, but even the prayer is sung. But the kirtan, the singing of the word, the singing of the name of God, and the singing of the sections of Guru Granth Sahib is really dominant.
Indeed it is, and it's no accident. Various historical accounts and legends talk about him, traveling on these incredible journeys, all over the world in those days on foot, with his companion, the minstrel Mardana, by his side with his instrument. And it's said that every time they went to a new place, they would sit in the center of the village, in the village square, and they would start singing. And pretty soon a crowd would gather. And what a wonderful way of imparting his message. So this tradition of Gurmat Sangeet was established by Guru Nanak Dev Ji 500 years ago, and as you very rightly observed, it absolutely continues, and it's the primary form of worship for Sikhs. It's not unique to this Gurdwara by any means. Any Gurdwara you go to, the bulk of what happens over there is Kirtan, the singing of Gurbani.
There are many of the men who are Sikh who, like you, wear a turban, but there were a surprising number of young men, and old men too, who did not wear a turban, but who basically put a small kerchief or scarf on their head when they came into the Gurdwara.
You're absolutely right in observing that some Sikhs, preserve the traditional form, wear their hair long, wear turbans, whereas others have, in a certain sense, assimilated. Perhaps feeling that it might make their transition or their progress or growth in this society a little smoother. I personally feel that's a myth, and the reason for that is, you just have to look around. Sikhs who maintain their identity are, in the biggest corporations,
they're everywhere,
in
yes.
most significant positions, doing very well from a career point of view. You have Sikh entrepreneurs. The only way for us to preserve our identity is to really create such a positive sense of self-image among our young people that when they grow up, when they get into those late teens, we don't have to push them towards keeping their identity. It's something that they want.
They're proud. Sarbpreet, how wonderful this has been. I want to thank you and the community for this extensive hospitality today. It's been wonderful.
Not at all. It's absolutely our pleasure.